Hey, Isabella D'Andrea back with you on this episode of Reestablishment. And I've got my favorite co-host here today. I like her to be here more than she has been, but you've seen her before. My daughter Isabella, welcome back to the program.
Thank you.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
Yeah, last time we did it, we were in England.
I know, a year ago.
It was kind of cool.
Yeah.
And so I've invited her in because we're going to talk about a special topic today. So right now, a lot of families and their kids are getting ready to go off to college. And you just graduated.
I did, yes.
So you got your 4-year degree. And there's so many lessons to learn, not only as a freshie, but also as a sophomore or junior. And so we want to talk about going off to college. So are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
So I want you to take people through some lessons learned, some pitfall avoidance, and some cool stuff they could be doing. So think about when you were going at the very beginning. What were some of your anxieties? What were some of the things you were looking forward to? Go.
Yeah, so I went to a smaller college, which does affect a little bit of, how I feel and how I felt going into it and everything. But I would say one of the biggest worries was I got paired with a random roommate. So I went to college out of state, and so I didn't know who I was going to get paired with. And it was 2 people to a room, and then we shared a bathroom. So all 4 girls sharing one bathroom was a bit on the chaotic side, but we started a group chat before we even got to school, I'd say about a month prior. And so we got to know each other long before we even got to school. So by the time I got there, it was just more of like an in-person like catch up rather than it was like meeting somebody I was going to live with for the next, I thought, 4 years. My original roommate, we only lived together for about a month. Well, for the first semester. And so, and then the way things worked out, our majors were a little different then. And so my major was really loud. I was studying music at the time. And so she was, not doing that. And so she needed quiet and I needed a place where I could just constantly make noise. And so we ended up switching things around and we're still great friends. But that fear of, like, oh, who am I going to live with? Or is it going to work out? Like, it does work out, and it's okay if your majors are different. It's okay if you have to switch things up, at the semester in, so don't be so like worrisome going into college.
Yeah, I had 2 different roommates when I was in college, and that's part of life.
Yeah.
And that's part of the college experience is learning how to interact with other people. Mm-hmm. And I think that that's a very, very important part of the experience. Now, going in, we got to talk about the financial part.
Yeah.
Because that is on everybody's mind. No matter if you live at home and go to a small junior college or you go to a big university, it doesn't matter. The financials are important. We as parents pushed you to do scholarships. Talk about scholarships.
I started doing scholarships. Oh, goodness.
Your senior year in high school?
Yeah, I was going to say about a year prior to me actually going because, one, you want to get your name out there because once you get a scholarship once, a lot of the times, sometimes you can reapply for that one a second or a third time. And when they already know who you are, they're like, oh, we know this person does really well, whether it's writing an essay or sending in a video or whatever it looks like, because I did a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
And so it's really just being willing to take the time.
So encourage people. You, if I remember right, we're at about 75% of the ones that you applied for you got.
Yeah, I would say so.
So pretty much 3 out of 4 applications, you actually got a scholarship. And like you said, all different, interesting, and it's a continual process. And you have to watch the dates.
Yes.
Because they fall in all different parts of the year.
Oh, yeah. I had some that once I was in college, I would have some that were at Christmas time. Then I'd have some that would be like in the middle of March, like at odd times of the year when, you're halfway through your semester and you're thinking about writing a scholarship that'll get you through to the semester that's coming up. So you really have to be careful about.
What was your average? Do you remember? 10, 12,000 a year in scholarships?
Somewhere around there. It also depended too on the ones at my school. So like outside scholarships, I would say around 5.
Because the school had some for you.
Yeah, and I applied for every single one that I was eligible for. Every single one. And the ones at school are easier to get in my opinion, because you basically apply and then you show how much you want it, and then you're usually they seem to be more easier, because the outside ones, it's a lot more fighting tooth and nail. Like, you have to be a really good writer. You have to be really good at certain things
Your
to be
mom
able
and
to
I
get them. So
we're very, very happy whenever you got them.
it was definitely a team effort. Like, it definitely took some help to figure out other topics to write about or reviewing some
Here's
stuff
something
that
I
was working
learned
on.
about college that was true for me, but I didn't think it would be for you, but it was. So in the day and age of everything being online or digital, you really liked getting old school mail.
Yes. Oh, I
You
love
would
it.
think that would go away, but getting a handwritten note or a small package of actual snail mail made a big difference, didn't it?
Yes, it does, because when you're in college, like, you don't have a lot as it is, You're living in a closet with people that you just met. So, and you're trying to make a life for yourself, especially when, I was a 17-hour drive away from home. Like, I didn't have a choice but to get out there and just get going on life. And so, receiving small little like letters of like, hey, Isabella, we miss you. Or, I had some people from work that would send me care packages of just like food they knew I liked, or just like cleaning supplies. You don't know how much you clean in college until you're in college. You're cleaning all the time. It's so dusty because it's so small. And so like just people thinking of you and like, oh, I can't do much. I may not be able to support you like maybe financially, but I can send you like a little letter saying, hey, like, I remember you, you're my prayers, things like that.
How'd you navigate the dorm room theme or decorating or?
Yeah, I had it every which way you could possibly think of. We were changing our room probably twice a semester. You could do a bunk bed on top, and then you could do a bunk like a bed below. You could do it as an L shape. You can have one person on one side, one person on the other side. You can have it against the wall, not against the wall. You could have them in the middle of the room. Like, we did it all. And it genuinely was all based off functionality. And so the less amount of things you bring with you to college, the better it is. And I remember my freshman year, I would say a good 75% of what I brought, I did not bring back my sophomore year, because you're overthinking, and so you're like, I need to pack everything I possibly can. But in reality, you just need clothes, some shoes, and call it a day.
We had talked about some fun, off-the-cuff stuff that you would do.
Yeah.
Where I used to make pasta in an old percolator coffee pot, or in the wintertime, I would hang my milk out the window and let it freeze because the refrigerator was full. Just silly stuff that you learn. You got anything you want to share that was kind of quirky?
I would say, as odd as this sounds, get a drying rack. I know that sounds it's like you wouldn't think about it, but it's like just one, like a little mat you can put on the floor with a little drying rack. It will change your life, because you're constantly doing dishes. I mean, it is mind-boggling. And even if you eat in the caf, like, you always are hungry when you're in school, because you're constantly working. And so getting a drying rack, you can just like, I know it sounds gross, but like laying it on the floor changes your life. It's a simple, it's not like quirky, but it's so simple. And
Well, there you go.
it helps, because you don't have to sit back and dry everything that you can just let it sit there, come back to it tomorrow when you have time. So yeah, a drying rack is
That's a cool one.
quirky as it is, yeah.
Let's go from the dorm room to college life. You were involved in a couple different things, campus life-wise.
Yes, I was.
And I remember each time you would try out for one of these, there was a lot of drama and emotion.
Yes.
Talk about some of the campus life things.
Well, I did do cheerleading for my whole sophomore year, which was super exciting. I didn't want to do it my freshman year because, personally for me, I wanted to get a hang of just college life. I know I had a lot of friends who just went right into it and they loved it.
But you had done it all through high school.
Oh, absolutely. I did it. Well, I
So
started in
cheerleading
elementary
was-
school. Yeah, I started when I was in kindergarten.
It was natural for you.
Yeah, not competitive. It was just sideline cheer.
But
But
college is different.
it's very different.
Competition is a little different.
It is. People are nicer. I will say that much.
Wow.
The other teams that you meet are really sweet. but it is exhausting. You have to have a set schedule. I mean, if you don't have, like, I work on homework this time of the day, I have to work out this time of the day, I have practice at this time of the day, you will get nothing done. You will feel very overwhelmed. And I learned that the hard way the first few weeks of being a part of anything. I was also a part of a few choirs when I was there. Some because I had to, for my scholarships, I have a minor in music, and so, I had to stay in those to help me, but there was extra stuff outside of it that I was required to go to, whether it was to travel, an hour or two away or whatever that looked like. And so,
and you had to do performance?
Yes, yeah. You have to practice,
you were graded
remember
on
your
performance?
songs, and yeah, absolutely.
So you would encourage people to try different things in campus?
Oh, yeah.
Different clubs or groups or whatever. I know it was very important that when you first started and we dropped you off the first time, some of the kids you met at the very beginning that you were grouped with have become lifelong friends. So I think that your campus life can really network for years and decades to come, right?
Oh, absolutely. My best friend now, she was my suite mate originally, so we shared the bathroom together. And then that second semester, she became my roommate, and now we are best friends. We're actually going on to do ministry together. So, I mean, it's mind-boggling how things work, and don't just be like, oh, I'm only here for 4 years. Like, I'll be friends with you for that, and then I'll see you later. Like, no, like, I have a lifelong friend out of it now. Like, we're the closest I've ever been with somebody.
You told me something else that I think is really important, and this is part of college life, and it doesn't matter what college you go to or where, but you made a statement about the importance of a relationship with your professors.
Oh, absolutely.
Talk about that, because that's important.
I learned, I think, the most from outside of a classroom, talking to my professors, because they, especially when you're in a smaller college, it's easier to do because, like, my class, I think my biggest class I ever had was 30 or 40 people. So it was a little easier for me, but they care about us. And they care more, like, not just how much we're learning, but they care about us as people. And obviously we still have that decorum of student to professor relationship because it has to be there.
Sure.
But the amount that they just want to pour into you, that they care about you, and that they just want to love on you and hear about what's going on in your life. And, like, if you walk up to your professors, because I have done this, and I'm like, I know we have a 10-page paper due. And, I was a Bible major, so I was always writing papers, literally 24/7. And I was like, but I also have 3 other papers that are also 10-page papers due the next day. Is there any leeway? And they're like, oh my goodness, I had no idea. And they're willing to work with us. Like, they're willing to be like, well, I can see how that's not doable. Like, it doesn't make a difference who you are. You're not going to get that done in time.
Because they want a good product.
Exactly.
Because they want you to get the most out of your college experience.
Now, the first question they ask you is, how long have you known about the other papers? And, like, did you work on them prior?
They know the scam.
Oh, absolutely. And, like, they usually have a schedule for other professors to look at, so they're not bombarding you with that kind of stuff. But some professors, they don't like technology, so don't use it as much, or it just can be a little on the chaotic side on their end. And so when you tell them, I just found out yesterday I have a 10-page paper due in 2 days, they're like, all right, well, you've already been working on this one for a week. Let's extend it a day or two, give you some extra time. And they really do care.
So what did you do for decompression in college? Because everybody's different. So for me, I spent a lot of time in the gym. I did sports as well. But for me, the gym was the outlet. Sometimes I'd go play Frisbee at a local park. What was your outlet?
Definitely the gym for me. It was a big outlet.
Like your dad.
Yeah, but it was, especially on Saturdays and Sundays, everything is pretty much shut down on your campus. And so the gym is always open. And so it's a good way just to get your body moving. You're sitting in classes a lot. Like I said, I'm writing papers, sitting down at a desk all day. So the gym was a big one. We had a park near our school. It was just this open field. There, not a single playground. It was just an open field. And then it had a trail that would go through. And we would go out and for like an hour, just me and my friends, throw a football. Or we would just literally just lay on a blanket out in the field just to get some sun and just to talk and giggle about life. And we would paint outside. I mean, a lot of
artwork.
A lot of girly things. Yes, I have a lot of art that now just sits in a box. But
you didn't do that before you went to college.
No, I wasn't really big into
that.
Yeah, it's a new talent that I learned that I can do. I like to doodle as well. I have a tiny sketchbook. It's about the size of like your hand, and it just I carry it around with me, and I will doodle schedule when I have time to just, I need a second and I just do it throughout my day. Or a big one for decompressing too was, I know you're probably going to be like, ooh, gas, but it was going for drives. Going for a drive, and especially where my school was located, it was like a 30-minute drive to the airport and like 30 minutes back. That's an hour out of my room, but you could jam to music, have the windows down, you have like a snack with you, have your friends in the car.
Get away from the campus.
Yes, you could just talk and you didn't have to get out, especially if it's at night when like it's like 10 p.m. and you're like, man, I don't want to go out somewhere. It could be a little dangerous being by myself or with just my friends. And so being able to have a safe place just to be able to, listen to music and just talk and have fun. So
well, and when I would come and visit you, I would always try to take you places to get you away from campus.
Yeah.
And we did things. We went to the, what mine was it? The silver mine?
Yes.
It was some kind of mine. We went for drives. We went to the original home of Bass Pro.
Yeah.
And so we tried to get out and do things. We went hiking. Remember, we went on a long hike from a Civil War battlefield just to get away. And I think that's important to decompress when you're going through college.
Yeah.
What are your takeaways now that you're graduated, that somebody going in where you can say, I'm glad I did that for this?
I would say it has taught me, one, time management.
Okay.
I'm a very big procrastinator. I always have been, and I think I still always will be. But there are some things you just cannot procrastinate on. Like there are just some things like teaching me how to have that time management. I don't think I could have learned it anywhere else except for to throw myself into something where a schedule had to be made for. I also think another thing too is like it'll all be over eventually. Yeah. Like it is only 2, 4, 3, however long you're going to college for. It's only that amount of years. And then after that, it's over. And so you have to enjoy it while you're there, but also like don't stress about to the point where it's like taking over your mental health and things like that. Because I would have days where I was completely checked out as a person because I was like, I have to get this paper done. I have to get it done. And my roommate's like, Isabella, you have 2 days until it's due. And I'm like, yeah, but then I have this and then I have this. And it's like, I didn't need to put all that pressure on myself. It's just the more relaxed you are, the better your work comes out, the better things get done. If you just schedule it, it really is time management.
Yeah, that's a good word.
It really is time management. If you just take your time, and it all does end. Like eventually the school is over. Whether you decide that it's not for you or you get your degree, whatever that looks like, it does go away. It's not the end of your life.
And because you're far away from home, that you were excited to come home for summer.
Yeah.
But I always saw the twinkle in your eye when it was time to go back.
Yeah.
You would recharge and you're like, okay, I'm ready for new classes, new professors, because by then you're figuring out who is who. And I think there's an adulting process. So if your car goes down or you have an issue with something or you have to go to a walk-in clinic, you're learning how to adult if you're away from home and how to make contacts and maybe get with guys on campus that would know something, how to help you do things. What was that like?
I would say it was difficult because, I was very fortunate growing up that I didn't have to worry about a lot of that stuff. It was, I don't want to say handled for me, but it was, if there was an issue, there was always somebody around me who was like, oh, don't worry, I got that. And so being in a location where that wasn't a possibility, a lot of my guy friends were into music. And so cars were not really their thing. And so it would be all of us standing around looking at my car being like, what is going on? I'm like, nah, I don't either. I knew more than I think they did.
Yeah.
But the support of them being like, well, I don't know what's going on, but like, if you're not comfortable taking it here, I don't mind going with you, And so just having that support system was really helpful, just to be like, okay, I am figuring it out. I'm not going to get right every time. How does this work? Things of that nature. And using your resources, like you said, even though these people weren't necessarily around me, I could call them and be like, hey, I know you work on cars back at home. What do you think it could possibly be? Do you think I should go and take it somewhere? Do you think I could fix it myself? And so just using what you already have, because you know a lot more than you realize when it comes to, I think, basic stuff like that. Like you learn a lot in school and like about yourself and as a person. But
until you're in the situation.
Yeah, absolutely. You're kind of like, oh,
So I have one final question before we wrap this up. Looking back, are you glad you did it?
Absolutely. Yeah.
For you. We're not talking everybody.
Yeah.
Some kids may want to work with their hands and go a trade route. But for you, looking back, was it worth it?
Absolutely. I didn't want to go to college originally. School has never been the easiest thing for me. Not impossible, but just really hard. And so going to college and getting a degree was not ever something I wanted to do, but that was something the Lord had to put on my heart. And so he basically forced me. He didn't force me. I voluntarily chose, but I obeyed. And there were days where I would call my parents and I was like, I want to come home. Or like I would come home for break and I was like, I'm not going to go on the airplane.
There were times you wouldn't talk to me.
Yeah, I would come home.
I'm too busy or...
Yeah. It really...
Dad, I want to quit. I want to come home.
Yeah.
Like, no.
Yeah.
It was just like we had another guest on another one. And he said the same thing. It was like, I was just getting ready to quit. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, no.
Yeah.
I can't.
Especially that last semester. I made my last semester. I scheduled my classes so that as time went on, it got easier rather than harder.
Yeah.
And so that towards the end, my last semester was so easy that I had all this spare time. Some of my friends didn't, and so I was just kind of hanging out. I was ready to be done, and I was losing that momentum really, really quickly.
Yeah.
But I'm also a very itchy person staying in one place. I need to move every few months to keep me at bay.
Senioritis jumped on your back.
Oh, it was absolutely horrible. It
jumped on your back.
Yeah, I was like, I'll get it done. It'll be turned in on time.
Yeah, you didn't cry when you walked the graduation line.
No.
It was definitely all smiles.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
It was definitely all smiles.
I cried watching my friends walk because I got lucky and I got to sit in the front row. And so I'm watching all my friends walk and I'm tearing up for them. And then it's my turn and I have the biggest cheese on my face. And yeah.
Well, I appreciate you coming on to share this because I think it's a big help for folks that may be a little apprehensive, for parents sending their kids, especially if it's away from home, from kids going away for the first time. And, we didn't even address it, but staying away from bad elements is so critical. And that's going to be wherever you go in life, whether you go right into a job, the military, a trade, whatever you're doing, you're going to have bad elements. And, it's so important. Parents, we got to trust the kids the way we raised them. But kids, you got to stay away and don't let yourself be pulled into bad situations. But I think what we've talked about today is really good and very helpful. Thank you for being on.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, it's good to have you home for a while.
Yeah.
Love you, babe.
Love you.
Hey, good to see you. Welcome. Always welcome to be a part of this podcast. And we look forward to seeing you on the next one.
Raise your hands up. Raise them up. Establishment. Leave not incomplete. Let's talk about it.
In a world that moves too fast, come find out what's real. At a Land of Delight in Plant City, Florida, we're a family-owned farm rooted in faith, freedom, and the kind of goodness you can taste and feel. From raw local honey to grafted fruit trees, fresh-baked cookies, pasture-raised eggs, and Saturdays filled with laughter, farm-friendly animals, and life. It's everything you've been craving. And if you can't make it out this weekend, we'll bring the farm to you. Just head to alandofdelight.com and bring home something special, grown with purpose and wrapped in love. Every order helps us rescue animals, teach nutritional farming, and share hope with our community. So whether you're around the corner or across the country, click, taste, feel, grow. A Land of Delight, faith-filled living, farm-fresh giving. From Plant City, Florida. Visit alandofdelight.com.